One of the other stories that we've been talking about this week, of course, is the federal government ramping up testing and tracing in this country, working hard with the provinces to try and get it sort of to the next level. And one of the places that has had an enormous amount of success on that front in containing COVID-19 is Iceland. And a key to that is contact tracing, which very differently than here is led by Iceland police. The head of that response team is Detective Gestur Pálmason, who joins me now from Reykjavik, Iceland. Good to see you.
Hi. Thank you for having me.
I hope I didn't screw up your whole name there, Detective. It's I'll let you say it. Why don't I?
Well, name was fair enough, but I was leading one of the teams in the contact tracing, not the whole unit.
All right, fair. I gave you a promotion, Detective.
Yeah, thank you.
So, one of the things that is interesting about what Iceland has done to bring about so much success is that the police, actually, you and your colleagues, took over this work of contact tracing because it is essentially detective work. Tell me what you did that worked.
Well, I mean, this pandemic is surely a very wicked issue, and it has many sides and many things and many approaches that can and cannot work. So, for one, what we did was a collaborative effort with the citizens. That was number one. So all the efforts of the public safety, the chief epidemiologist, and all those guys who were coordinating the effort was directed at cooperating with the citizens. Number two, the way we set up our unit was a collaborative effort between healthcare workers, nurses, and the police. And when you combine the forces of those two, you have a force to be reckoned with. So I think that's one of the key things that made us successful, but there are many other factors as well.
Sure. You did use apps to some extent. Our government is now looking at potentially one app for the country, although there are some provinces using their own apps. How effective or how useful were apps in terms of helping you trace and contact people?
Well, so the app is fantastically useful for sure. In our case, it was slightly late to the game because when we got the app, we had already implemented a lot of restrictions, the 2-meter rule, the no more than 20 people together in one place, and so on and so forth. So we already had a lot of measures in place. So when we got the app, we only were able to use it to trace a few cases. Now, our main concern with the app, and obviously the citizens' concern as well, was the GDPR requirements. That is, who's the owner of the data, right?
Yes.
So we collaborated with local companies that built the app for us, and to make sure we had the integrity of the app and the information. We have a double consent to the app. So for one, it's your choice to download it, and two, if you become a contact, if you become infected with COVID-19, and we trace you, we send you a request digitally to your phone, and then you can decide if you want to share the data with us or not. So it's always your choice if you want to share the app. Now, we use the app. The app is a location app, so we use that to help you trace your steps. So it's a combined effort between human interaction and the use of the electronics and the technology.
I only have about a minute left, Detective. So how are you doing then? What is the situation in Iceland? If I'm not mistaken, you're now allowed to hold events with 200 people. So you're obviously doing better than we are.
That's true. We are relieving restrictions. We have no one in the intensive care, no one in the hospital. We've tested 60,000 people, which is about 16% of the population. And we seem to be able to gradually open up now without getting backlashes. So hopefully we'll have to wait 2 weeks now because we just extended to 200 people last Monday.
Okay, and you are still doing your work. You are still testing and tracing and doing all of that.
We are still testing and tracing, but we aren't getting very many positives. I mean, we went 6 days last week without anyone testing positive.
Detective, I got to leave it there. Thank you so much. So interesting to learn lessons from other countries. Detective Gestur Pálmason in Reykjavik, Iceland.